challenging year, we are looking forward to 2021. The gap now between financial markets and the real economy has never seemed so large. As you will see, our scenario for 2021 is built in several stages. The two key variables for any predictions are firstly, the exit from the COVID-19 crisis, and secondly, the power of fiscal and monetary responses. Let's first look at the performance of this year, 2020, which has been exceptional and will remain in our memories. On the surface, nothing very spectacular. On this graph, in green, we have represented the asset classes that have a positive performance, and in red, the asset classes with a negative performance. 2018 was generally red, 2019 green, and 2020 is finally a relatively classic year, rather positive. Only European equities and oil remained in the red at the end of the year. Market sentiment has improved sharply from the low point in March. In March, we had reached levels of pessimism and stress comparable or even higher than those of the great financial crisis of 2008. Today, despite the current epidemic rebound, we see on the graph on the left a bull ratio, a measure of sentiment, close to equilibrium, and volatility on the right, around 20, in line with the median since 2000. The starting point for 2021 remains the ability to emerge from the health crisis. While we ignored the existence of COVID-19 virus a year ago, we have already succeeded in developing vaccines that appear to be effective. Investors are now taking into account implicitly that 60% of people in developed countries will be vaccinated by the end of the first half of the year. This is illustrated by the graph on the left. This bar of 60% is that of herd immunity. If we add to that the number of people who have already been sick, we expect the epidemic to recede quickly as next summer approaches. This assumption is essential to make our scenario of economic recovery possible. Conversely, we imagine that any negative surprise related to the vaccine would negatively impact markets. The second essential assumption for 2021 is that of the persistence of extremely accommodative monetary and fiscal policies that will allow us to quickly emerge from the crisis. The IMF estimates the indebtedness of developed countries at over 120% of GDP on average, which corresponds to the level reached after the Second World War. This poses a problem in the medium term because we will be probably not able to observe, as during the 60s or the 70s, such a rapid decline in debt. This also forces central banks to be there. Central banks' balance sheets have grown by around 50% this year. You can see that on the right, and are expected to continue on their way in the months to come. This tide of liquidity is necessary to finance budget deficits and compensate for sudden losses in activity. When the health emergency has passed, will waking up be painful? We believe that once the end of the health crisis is in sight, the market will quickly focus on more traditional issues. We have listed some of these risks that will influence the direction of the market in 2021. The political agenda will come back in force. In Europe, we will have the German election in September 2021 and with the question of Angela Merkel's succession, and then the French elections in 2022. Paradoxically, when everything gets better in the real economy, that the markets may start to doubt. The question of exit strategies could thus arise in certain countries. Exit from this liquidity support and exit from this massive fiscal stimulus. This is clearly a structural issue for the years to come. Even if it seems premature today, The question can be asked for China as early as 2021, then in Europe with a divergence of trajectory between Germany and Netherlands on one side and France, Italy, Spain on the other side. The financing of American twin deficits, budgetary and trade deficit, will also arise in the years to come. We can also cite the geopolitical uncertainties, and the last uncertainty will also concern the trajectory of corporate earnings. So, how to position yourself for this first phase of the recovery? The answer today seems clear and relatively consensual. Prefer equities to credit and continue to play the rotation. What does this equation show us? On this graph, you can see that the need to keep real rates as low as possible pushes investors to take more and more risk in order to obtain a positive return. On the graph on the left, we can see that equities thus remain very attractive in relative terms. The risk premium on the US equity market is above its average over the last 20 years, despite the strong increase in its valuation. On the debt side, we can see the sharp increase in the volume of debt at negative rates and an increase in their duration. After the rally observed this year, the yield towards of equity fell sharply. On the right, we see that the yield is now close to the lows for high yield and investment grade credit in both Europe and the US. Only emerging debt still stands out in carry to risk, with further possible appreciation for emerging currencies. On the equity side, even a modest steepening of the yield curve should support further rotation in favor of the value styles, as you can see on the graph on the left. Part of the re-rating has happened since November 9, but there is still room, especially in the banking sector, whose relative valuation is still well below its historical average. Last step in our reasoning for 2021, after this phase of mechanical rebound, the long-term winner should come back in force. This will be the case for companies in the tech sector, whose valuation is consistent with profitability. They have an average price to book of 9, as you can see on the left, but with a return on equity of around 35%. Their growth is also remarkably stable. Earnings growth was positive in 2020 and is expected to average 11% over 3 years. This will also be the case for the healthcare sector, which, unlike technology, has an extremely low valuation today. The relative PE of companies in the healthcare sector is at its lowest since 1995, while offering stable and sustainable growth. And finally, with the election of Joe Biden as President of the United States, Europe will likely feel less isolated in its concern for environment. Investments related to the environment are a good pretext for relaunching the economy in a sustainable manner and will be the subject of massive investments in many countries. 2020 has reminded us to remain humble as a manager and flexible to quickly adapt to the most unexpected event. This is what we will continue to do in 2021 by implementing opportunistic strategies while maintaining our long-term views.